Good afternoon, YouTubers. As promised, the storm finally passed and the Presque is now docked in Conneaut Harbor and is unloading its iron ore. Now, this ship had one heck of a journey trying to get here because of all the storms and bad weather. It was supposed to be here on the 13th and wasn't able to get here until the 15th because the waves on Lake Erie got up to 20 feet high. Those will sink even giants. So it had to take safe harbor around Sandusky to have protection from the storm, along with a lot of other ships were all docked right around in that same area. And they had to wait out the storm, and that happened all across the Great Lakes. Some areas of the lakes the storm cleared faster than others, and so the Presque has made it here. Also, though, this because of the American Integrity is also on its way here. It, however, was able to have a little bit of a safer passage because of its time and its area that it was at, and it was able to travel along the western edge of Lake Huron, where the waves were not really bad, and it was able to make it all the way down here just shortly after the Presque made it down here. Now, I docked earlier this morning. I was busy having the privilege of being a dad, so I didn't dock it coming in here. And on top of that, the current temperature right now is 18 degrees with the wind chill of 7. And this morning, when this was docking, it was at about 9 degrees with a wind chill of -7. And even bundled up, that's still pretty cold. So but the Presque is a 1,000 foot long ship. However, it is the most unique of these ships because it is a barge tug combination, and it is just like the other 1,000 foot giants, 1,000 foot long, and it's 104.7 feet long, so just slightly smaller in width than the other 1,000 footers. But this thing is a beast with its loads and is able to haul 60 to 70 tons of iron ore. Now, as you can see over to the side, I'm zoomed in all the way, our iron ore piles have started to accumulate some, and all our rail cars are currently gone because they have hauled. There was another mound there that is completely gone, shipped down to Pittsburgh, and we have more on the way. So because the American Integrity is out docked off of the lighthouse, which I will get a little video of that, and I'll see what time they're gonna the Presque is gonna leave, and when the American Integrity is going to come in, and I'll see if I can get down to video that if I can. Nighttime videos the quality of the video is a little bit less. So and we have just a wicked cold spell that we have going right now. It's winter in Northeast Ohio, and along the Great Lakes is the time we did get some snow, but we didn't get a ton of it, and we had such high winds with it pushed it around. So I think Conneaut at best got some of the areas a little bit further inland from the lake in the city of Conneaut got close to 3 inches. The most northern part up here along the lake ended up getting only about 1 inch. And again, it was blown around and scattered. So this is it was a small storm in terms of snowfall. We do have more snowfall forecasted for this week, but this was a very powerful storm with the wind and wicked cold temperatures. So we had wind gusts, especially out on Lake Erie. Wind was topping 60 and 70 knots, which is you're almost getting into tropical. You're getting into past tropical storm category there with those type of winds. And we had a very cold snap, and that can be dangerous for these ships with it this cold with the waves, because they'll get an ice buildup, heavy ice buildup. Now these ships, they tailor their load to the level of the lake as to what type of load they can haul across the Great Lakes safely without bottoming out. And when you start adding on the ice weight as well as gigantic waves, that could be dangerous for these ships. Not to mention the frigid cold temperatures with the crews trying to work and do their job. It's not fun. And I, throughout my career, have had to many times work in very inhospitable conditions, both extremely cold and extremely hot. And I can tell you, it's when they're at the extremes, it's not fun. So I don't envy these guys with their job. So this is what's done and needed to keep America running. And oh, by the way, it is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And if you're unaware of why he is such an important figure, I will educate you a little bit on that. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was a civil rights activist, okay, in the 60s, who pressed for and helped get passed the Civil Rights Act of 1964. It was at what you would say is a dark time in this country where we did not treat people equally. So much of that has changed, and in part because of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. But his way of doing that, he was also a reverend pastor, and he strongly believed in and followed the words of Jesus Christ. And he believed in a concept that I do greatly believe in, which is you do things peacefully, that you don't let them go to violence, and that you do not conquer hate through more hate. You conquer hate with love. And that was Christ's message, which is counter of the world system, stood the world system on its head. And that's what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. did. And he embodied a lot of those Christ-like behaviors. It's so cold, my hand's starting to freeze off. He didn't believe in wrecking things. He didn't believe in hurting other people. He didn't believe in doing some of the damaging things that you see protesters doing today, that they think all means are justified to get their point across. That was not how he operated. And he operated too off of a philosophy that for some reason is now being lost in America once again, which is the concept that you judge people by the content of their character and not the color of their skin. This is also part of that love conquering hate. It's always just like, judging the book by the cover. Okay? Well, sometimes the cover may be plain, but inside is one of the best stories ever. And that's how people are. Okay? Maybe on the outside they may not be the most flashy or the best looking, but inside they are gold. But you won't know unless you take the time to look. You have to open up that book and see what's inside. And then you judge them accordingly to that. And I absolutely love that concept and that way of thinking that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had. Okay, and we see that today. Remember, love conquers hate. Okay, love is stronger than hate. Okay, the Apostle Paul wrote of the gifts that and the things that God has given us: faith, hope, and love, and the greatest of this is love. So in this world today where there is so much anger and hate and people getting offended at the drop of a dime, remember, choose love over hate. Okay, that is my little daily message, you might say rant. Okay, because I love this country, love my town, I love my state, just my area here, and I want to pass that message along again, as I have raised my hand and laid my life down on the line for the freedom of this country, that it is worth doing. Okay, and I did so out of love, not out of hate. So I will also get a video of the American integrity. I gave you my little 2 cents for the day in my speech, and I'll check out the American integrity down there and see try if I can get a good vantage point of it. I can see in the background the break wall has just ice covering over top of it, which is some of what I talked about, what happens to those ships with the ice buildup. So in the background you can see a lot of the crew, dock crews are working, and they're having a busy day. They're going to unload this, and once the Presque pulls out, the American integrity will pull in, and that's back-to-back 1,000-foot ships. And I'll get a video to you on that here in a minute, and hopefully I'll have some more coming to these ships, and when we get some better weather, I'll do the Roger Blau. I want to thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please like, subscribe, and share. God bless you, and have a wonderful day.